Hello and welcome to this brief pranayama and meditation practice. This will be all about connecting to the element of water, connecting to your own inner ocean, your own tide, and your own arc and fall of a wave. Hopefully this gives you the chance to soothe yourself, to turn inward, and to take a few moments just to enjoy the mind and the body and the breath dancing together. So find a seat. I'm sitting in Virasana on a block. You may always sit in a cross-legged position or on a chair, but I do recommend if you're sitting on the floor to sit up on something so that you have a good lift to you, you have a slope from the hips down through the knees, so that you are in a pose that is sustainable and formal. Then go ahead and close the eyes. Notice where you habitually took your seat. If you're sitting back on your tail, then move forward so that you're sitting on the front edges of your sitting bones, the center of your pelvic floor, plugging in to the floor or block or cushion, whatever you're sitting on, so that you have a nice wave to your low back. From your really safe and secure plug into the earth, then pull currency up the spine, all the way up through the crown of the head, so you're sitting nice and tall. And then further organize yourself along an esoteric plumb line, along the center of your body. So from the universe, drop through the crown of your head, a golden thread it all the way through the center of yourself. So down through the center of the skull, the throat, chest, the abdomen, into the center of the pelvis, out the middle of the pelvic floor, down into the earth. So you can use this line to reference up and down, but you can also use this line to reference side to side. So see if you can broaden a little bit from collarbone to collarbone, so that the upper frame of your torso is really broad. And imagine that you have this frame of shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip, providing a container for the lungs, for the heart, for all the internal organs, or most of them at least. So the seat becomes alert, graceful, formal, and just bring into your imagination the idea of an ocean. So a big body of water. And then without judging, just ask yourself, what does your ocean look like today? Maybe it's a turbulent, wild ocean with big waves, foam spraying everywhere as the waves crash on the shore. Or maybe it's a really calm ocean with barely a ripple of a wave. Allow yourself to use this practice as one that is unique to you, so that how you play this practice, how you mediate this practice really is reflective on how your ocean is today. So it could be that this practice really needs to calm your waters. It could be that this practice needs to whip your waters up a bit. So just being really mindful of how you approach your practice so that it really has the intention to become alchemical, to change your chemistry, to play with your chemistry. And from here, find a good fit, so you can take the hands to the tops of the knees, or you may grab the heels if you're sitting in Virasana with your hands. That's always a great place, a great fit. And then start to stir your waters a little bit. So you're gonna inhale and go forward, exhale and rock back. You're stirring around the bowl of the pelvis, so you're going way down into your depths as if you're getting down into the floor of your ocean. But then of course, when one thing is moving, everything is affected. So you can move up into the torso, you can move up into the head. But start to make this a pranayama practice as well as a movement practice. So inhaling brings you forward, exhaling pulls you back. You can go very, very, very slow if you need to calm things down. You can go quicker if you want to whip things up a little bit, but you're stirring clockwise and you're keeping your breath really engaged. So in to go forward, X to go back. And as you pump your breath and as you connect to this element of water, just sort of notice any areas of the floor of your own ocean that you're missing. So perhaps it's, going over to the right side gets a little bit lost, going over to the left gets a little bit lost, maybe the front gets lost or the back gets lost. So you're making a big swirl around yourself as you stir your own waters, being really diligent as to not miss one single piece of the floor of your ocean, so that the stirring of your waters has a foundation that is really underpinning the fluidity and the currency of your movement. So keep going counterclockwise for about 30 more seconds. Stay connected to your breath, in and out, in and out. If you're feeling a little sleepy, start to whip it up. If you're feeling a little bit overheated or even a little dizzy, then slow it down. So always making a choice based on the current moment and moving forward from there. Then find stillness back in the center. Close your eyes or just leave them barely open. Once again, reference your energetic plumb line from far above you, through the crown, through the skull, the throat, the chest, the abdomen, out the center of your pelvic floor, way down into the earth below you. Organize yourself on this line so that after you stir yourself up, you have a technique to bring yourself back to center. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And then start going counterclockwise. In to go forward, out to go back. Stirring around yourself the other way. You might find that stirring counterclockwise might feel a little bit unfamiliar because it's counter the normal spin of time. So this is really about how you connect with your internal waters and how you ride your own tide when no one's looking. This is like your personal wave, as opposed to clockwise being more of how you really ride the wave out into the world and participate. This is getting a little bit more lunar as you spin toward the left side of the body. Keep pumping the breath, noticing where you're going and where you're not going. And remember that this is about churning things up from the bottom, from the floor of your own ocean. So not making this decorative for the sake of it being decorative, making this functional. So you're going down to your stability to whip up your ability to get really circular through your torso, but it's still underpinned by that sense of groundedness, by that sense of a floor. So keep going in and out, in and out. Going quicker if you need a whip, going slower if you need to cool off. So really doing this practice based on what you need right now. Keep going, keep breathing, keep stirring things up, in and out, in and out. For 3, 2, and 1. Finding your center, calming things down, referencing your energetic plumb line from way above you, through the crown, through the skull, the throat, the chest, the abdomen, the pelvic floor, down into the earth. Using this line as a tool so that you can really anchor down and rise up, so that you can go left and right, so that you can acknowledge the space behind you and the space in front of you. And take a big dimensional breath as you fill up and expand from the center out in all these directions. And then take a big breath out. From here, you can always take the hands to the thighs if you were grabbing your heels. Start to practice Ujjayi Pranayama. Ujjayi Pranayama is known as the breath of the ocean. And it's practiced by toning the back of your throat, so constricting the passage of the air just a bit so that your breath starts to become audible, making a whisper oceanic sound. And for these first few rounds, make this breath extremely, extremely explicit, very obvious. So you're toning your throat a lot, you're pulling the air through like you're sifting it through a filter, and it's very, very loud, like a churned up, active ocean. So loud that maybe someone outside of your house could hear it. So toning the throat in and out. In and out. Keep going in this way, really connecting your hearing to the sound of your own breathing. This really loud, obvious oceanic sound. Give yourself the gift of your imagination by imagining as you inhale a big wave reaching its peak, and then as you exhale the wave starting to crash onto the shore, giving yourself that visual. When the inhale comes in again, you feel the tide pull in, the wave arc up, and as you exhale the wave crashes, the tide goes out toward the shore. Keep going with this very loud, effortful breath. And then start to become a little bit more subtle with your Ujjayi Pranayama, but still with some effort, still a little bit explicit. So say someone right next to you practicing this breath could hear you. So you're starting to tone things down a little bit. You're still connecting your hearing to your breathing, soothing yourself with the sound of your oceanic breath. But now the effort is decreasing. The ocean is calming down a little bit. The waves become smaller. The crash of the waves start to example less of a crash and more of just a rolling out. So staying with the visual. And your very open and wide and spacious imagination, using the hearing, connecting to your breathing, the image of your ocean calming down. Then begin to really quiet the breath, so that this is like your own personal ocean. The oceanic sound of your breath is very subtle, like a calm, crystal clear ocean, just a ripple of a wave. Make this breath so subtle that only you can hear it, as if you're putting up a conch shell to your ear and having your own personal moment with not only your imaginative reference of an ocean, of actual bodies of water, but the ocean that lies within, your own water system within. Much like this earth, we are made up of a lot of water. So allow yourself to soothe yourself by listening to your own ocean. Enjoy the moment of pause between both the inhale and the exhale. The exhale and the inhale. traveling inward to find the subtlety of the waves of currency and energy that move through you. Notice how your form, in whatever form you're taking for this practice, as formal as it is, it's still moving. You're still able to ride your own waves and maintain the formal integrity of your posture. Take your next inhale, hook your thumbs, stretch your arms way up over your head. Turn your armpits in towards your heart so you're really spinning information, spinning energy in toward the center of yourself. As you reach up toward the sky, you're also plugging in to the floor of the earth underneath you. Take another big, full Ujjayi breath in. Really tone your throat so it's extra loud. Hold the top of your inhale. Take 3 more sips in through the mouth so you top it off. Lift the pelvic floor, lift in the navel, lift up through the crown of your head. And then as you're ready, exhale, let it go. Dropping the arms, letting wave of energy rain down all around you. And then just let that practice go. Namaste.